You want the perfect year of workout programming? Watch this.
Our next caller is Owen from Alabama.
Owen, what's happening, man? How can we help you?
Hey guys, first of all, really appreciate you taking my call. I've been a Mind Pump listener now for about 2 months, relatively new, and just can't even express how much I've learned and appreciated what you guys have done. So just want to express my gratitude for that.
Thanks,
awesome, man.
Thank
Right
you.
Welcome to the party.
So a little bit about me, just to sort of frame my question and some perspective. I'm 24 years old. I'm currently getting my PhD right now in mathematics. And I've been a pretty consistent weightlifter now for about 5 to 6 years. But before that, I was a long distance runner, cross country runner in high school, and ran a marathon my senior year. But when I hit college, I really wanted to put on some size, started doing a lot of bodybuilding at school, tried to follow, a push-pull legs program, but it ended up more looking like, victim to the classic, prioritizing upper body as opposed to my lower body. And so after a while now, fast forward 4 or 5 years, my upper body has significantly progressed more than my lower body. And due to my maybe lack of desire, but I haven't really prioritized recovery with my legs. I've had some nagging injuries and imbalances that I haven't really been able to get control over. And so just over the past year, the imbalances have gotten increasingly worse. I've gotten some knee pain while squatting, have some little to no internal rotation on my hips and some hamstring tightness. And my question for you guys revolves around, as I start the new year, I was hoping to have a game plan for the upcoming year, how I want to program my time. And I wanted to know what your advice was for somebody who has such drastic differences. I still would hopefully want to improve my upper body and things like that, but I have my lower body lagging so far behind. I do have MAPS Prime and MAPS Anabolic, so I was wondering if you guys thought that would be a good thing to do as the new year starts, and how exactly I may modify that for my own personal benefit.
This is and you're on the right track for sure. That's what we do. We'll lay out the whole year for you. This is one of my biggest critiques about push-pull legs routines, especially for a young guy, is what ends up happening is we skip the leg one and do a lot of push-pull. And that's part of the problem. Not to mention the days that you do legs, you probably feel crushed a lot of times where you get really sore afterwards, or they're hard to push through it. This is why one of my favorite transitions was moving out of that type of a split and moving more to a full body, where you're only doing an exercise or two for your legs, and you're getting out of there after 6 sets, 8 sets total, and that's all you're doing. You're not doing much more than that, and so you're not as sore, you're not as exhausted to get through it, and then the frequency of hitting your legs more consistently really brings those up. Anabolic is the first one for sure, and then I would run performance, aesthetic, and then maybe symmetry, or maybe interrupt symmetry in the middle of that. What would you guys do?
I think we should start with symmetry, and here's why. Because I think Anabolic is a great program, but you mentioned the nagging pain that you have. And I think I think symmetry will help balance you out. So I would actually go MAPS Symmetry and then MAPS Anabolic.
And then performance and then
aesthetic. Performance and then aesthetic.
And that's the whole year right there.
That's it. That's the whole year. And Prime, you want to use the priming sessions before every workout. But symmetry is going to help a lot with the imbalances that you're suffering from, for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of that you'll find with the tightness, your body's just being overly protective. And so to be able to kind of isolate one side versus the other, it's going to help you kind of reveal where the instability lies. And so that's something too, which then you can take into your priming ahead of time. Really pick those very deliberate type of exercises that help kind of open that up for you, so your squat and your deadlift and everything will be better impacted.
Now, the only challenge is this. You did mention that you're in the PhD process for mathematics, which I can only imagine is quite demanding. What does your schedule look like when just normally? Forget the workout part, but what does your schedule look like with classes and studying?
So right now I'm just doing research and teaching. So I actually almost always have hour or 2 hour chunks throughout my day where I can work out usually whenever I want. I'm a morning workout person. I usually knock it out right away.
Okay.
And so I can almost always get to the gym pretty much every day of the week.
Okay, good. And then how's your sleep?
My sleep's usually phenomenal, to be honest. I'm in bed by 9 o'clock and I'm usually up around 6. So.
We're good. We're good
for
then.
you, bro.
Yeah,
Good
we're
for
good then. You're the advice we gave you. Otherwise, I would have changed my advice. But I think we're good then. If that's what your schedule looks like and you're not overly stressed or whatever, then you're totally good. What kind of research do you do for mathematics, by the way?
Right now, I'm in a program that's what's called pure mathematics. So I'm looking in a field called graph theory, which is really studying networks and the relationship between networks. It's an offshoot of discrete mathematics.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna be solving the future's problems. So that's cool.
I want to address the biggest challenge you're going to have with the advice of symmetry. So, especially for a young guy who's got a lot, does a lot, probably is being patient and following the program. I know you've only been listening to us for 2 months, so it might be a lot to ask, but trust us and trust that we know what we're doing and programming, and this is where we want to go. But the isometric piece to the beginning of that program,
It's 2 weeks.
yeah, is 2 weeks. Do it. It's going to serve you. It's going to feel very different than anything you've ever done, and almost feel like, oh man, I'm not really doing shit, and you're going to be tempted to want to add or do other
Or
things.
just skip that.
All the
second.
effort is intrinsic, so it's really what you put into it.
Yeah, but it will serve you, and trust the process. And it is a 2 week process when you first get started. That we know what we're doing, and you'll be okay. But I know that the mental, psychologically, it's going to be the biggest challenge for you, because it'll be like, what the fuck am I doing? What is this? And you're going to want to do more, but trust it. And I promise you, if you follow the programs that we just laid out for you. Did you say you sent him? You're sending him over Symmetry?
Symmetry, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's already got. I think he already have anabolic, right?
Yeah, I have anabolic and split.
Yeah. Okay. So so after Symmetry, go anabolic, then performance, then aesthetic, and you'll
Perfect.
be set. Yep.
If I was to come across like during the program halfway through or something like that, knee pain while squatting or something like that, do you recommend any way to modify it so that way it doesn't feel like, all right, well, there goes the first month of my year, start over?
Well, with Symmetry, that shouldn't be an issue. But if you do find some pain in Symmetry, slow down, go lighter, and modify your technique so that your knee doesn't hurt. But definitely slow down and go lighter. And with Symmetry, that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Start with your strong. So start with the weaker side, and then copy your weaker side with your stronger side, so that you don't do more reps with the stronger side.
You could also extend the time length of doing Symmetry. Run it again if it's an issue that needs to be tackled, and maybe avoid the 5x5 portion, the phase 4. If you are kind of like dealing with that instability and pain,
then go back over. Yeah.
again.
Oh, and I'm actually going to have Doug give you free access to the private forum too. That way, if you do have something like this, is what that forum is great for. So if something comes up in the middle of the year while you're following these programs that you can't figure it out, post it in there, tag us, and then we'll get to you.
Yeah, because knee pain almost always comes from either the hips or the ankles or the feet. It's not the knee itself. So you probably don't have something wrong with your knee. There's probably something wrong with your stability or strength or mobility in the hips, ankle, or feet. So look there. So when you're watching your form in Symmetry and you're doing your unilateral exercise, watch your form. In fact, look in the mirror. You want to watch yourself in the mirror and watch how your knee is tracking. Watch how your body's lined up, and then try to mirror that on both sides.
And that's something that Prime will help out with too.
Big time.
Yeah. Yes, big time. And the forum, this is what the forum is best used for, in my opinion. Like this, so a lot of people, this is what they'll do. They can't figure something out themselves. They post a video of them doing their squat or their deadlift or whatever it is that we're trying to address, and like, hey, I'm having knee pain. Here's my squat. Can you guys help me out? And we will be able to see from the way you squat what's probably going on, and then be able to direct you on what to do.
And just as much as you can, like movements like the 90-90 where we're addressing that internal rotation, like to be able to do that while you're watching TV and just make it like a frequent ritual. You're just constantly doing it. It doesn't, stress out the body in any means. It's just something that you're now like reprogramming the way that your body's going to stabilize. Yeah. So keep doing that as much as possible.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
You got it, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah. Keep us posted, man. Make sure you get in that forum.
Yeah, I definitely will. Thank you guys.
You got it. A lot of people don't realize that with knee pain in particular. I mean, unless you have an acute injury, right? And there's actual damage to the knee. it's almost always 85+%. It's foot, ankle, or hip.
Knee and elbow are like that. Both knee and elbow are those areas where people are like, God damn, it's not the elbow, it's not the knee, it's the joints that are closest to it, right? So it's either your ankle or in this case,
and
your
one
hips.
thing, this is just for people listening, if you're doing a movement and it hurts and you can't kind of figure out why, go lighter, then slow the rep down, and then as you're doing the rep, see if you can adjust your form with micro adjustments so it doesn't hurt. And that'll tell you quite a bit. So like if I'm doing a squat and I notice a little bit of pain in my knee and I go way lighter, and then I'm going down and I go, wait a minute, if I push my knees out a little bit, oh, the pain is gone now. Okay, now I see what I need to do. Or I need to get my foot and grip the floor a little bit. Or maybe I need to sit back a little more, whatever, right? These little micro adjustments will tell you quite a bit. That's why I say go lighter and slow down, because then you can adjust your form and technique to where it doesn't hurt, and then that tells you something.
Mm-hmm.